Hi friends, this is T.H. Culhane for Solar Cities and for Envisage Mercy, Mercy College's Environmental Sustainability and Justice League. And I'm here at the Greenberg Hebrew Center in Dobbs Ferry, where I grew up. It's great to be back here because back in the day when I lived here, when I was a young tadpole, Billy Abramson, Dean Schwartz, David Weissman, you guys remember you took me here many a time. And it's great to be back and doing something as part of the Green Faith Initiative, where under the leadership of Rabbi Barry Kenter, the entire synagogue and Hebrew Center is going green in an exemplary way for the entire town of Greenberg. So Greenberg. And one of the first steps that we like to suggest for going green is the simple act of using a food grinder, a waste disposal unit in your sink, because an in-sink food grinder takes all of your organic waste and effortlessly grinds it up. And if you just let it go to the city, to the municipal waste treatment plant, they love it because it adds energy that allows them to produce biogas, which they use for running their engines and for running their blowers, and it makes them less fossil fuel dependent. So they're very happy for it. But you can also use all that energy yourself. And if you don't let it go to the city, you can valve it, as we've done here. And you can see what I've done to make it a compost companion. So I do have a flexible hose going back here, 1.25 inches, that's going into the existing drain line. But downstream of that is a valve. It's a 1.25 inch valve. And that valve is going into a bucket, and that's our compost bucket to take out to the compost. When we go through the Insinkerator here and into the compost bucket, we then can get compost in 3 to 6 days on average, rather than 3 to 6 months. And you can put everything in it. Because vermin, rats, raccoons, feral dogs, cats, whatever the animal that's attracted by compost, cannot smell this once it's ground and used with liquid, they don't come around. And yet, because it's broken down very tiny, the microbes can get at it, the fungi can get at it. And so what used to take months just takes days to weeks, and it doesn't attract any animals at all. So it's a great compost companion from that perspective. Of course, it keeps it out of the landfill. And there's a list in the brochure that came with this about recycling food waste, showing the benefits that when you use your disposer, you help keep food waste out of the landfill. Check. According to the EPA in 2010, the amount of food scraps generated in the U.S. was 35 million tons, and a lot of that's sitting out in garbage cans and attracting animals and creating odors. And then there's a huge fossil fuel problem transporting it to various locations, even to a centralized compost place. So this eliminates that. You can put many different types of food waste down a disposer. Yes, meat, bones, grease, fat, eggshells, all those things are fine when you're using the disposer. And in this case, when you're using the composter, you don't have to worry anymore about not putting meat in because it might generate smells or attract animals. It won't, because it's all ground up. They're a great complement to composting, so this is our compost companion. And then they're energy efficient. They use very little water. But the great thing that we like to champion here at Solar Cities is that you can use it in a home or backyard or basement biodigester and get not only liquid compost tea, which is very easy to distribute to your plants, but you get biogas, methane, the same gas that's being used to cook on these stoves here, you can produce at home. And we have families in upstate New York who have them in their basements and have been cooking all winter, all 3 meals a day, just on their food scraps. A bucket of food scraps, about this much food here, this is about anywhere between a half an hour to an hour of cooking fuel every day. And it just needs to be ground up. And so, yes, it's a bit sludgy, but as you can see here, and I need to take that out there, when I turn on the Insinkerator and I put it in, a little bit of water, down it goes. And yes, you know, coffee grounds, even paper towels, the eggshells, just fine for that digester or for that composter. You don't want to overwhelm your Insinkerator by dumping it in, but you can put just about anything in. I just hesitate to put too much in at a time, but there we go. And the nice thing is that you no longer have to put food in a garbage can, so we wouldn't be going through this process. When you chop and when you slice, you grind immediately. And that makes it a whole lot nicer, and then there's none of this nastiness of taking it out of the garbage bin. So there's that. We'll take this out to the composter in just a second, but from the kitchen here at GHC,
On behalf of the entire staff here, thanks a lot. We hope you will. Please try this at home.